Hey guys, I hope you all had a great week. I know some of you guys might have been on holiday, but if you're here, I hope you've had some fun. We're coming to our second psalm now, and today we're going to be looking at Psalm 16. But before we think a bit about that, have a think for a moment, because sometimes things don't live up to expectations, do they? There are some things, we hope that they'll be able to do something, but sadly they disappoint us. You maybe think of all the toys you've had over the years that have just broken, or not done what you had hoped. Well, in today's Psalm 16, King David is making a statement about something that will never disappoint, something that will never break, something that will never let us down. He is giving us something that will always live up to expectations. We'll read the psalm in a moment, and you'll see that in verse 1, he says this. He says, "Keep me safe, my God, for in you I take refuge." David is opening with a statement and a declaration that God will keep him safe, because it is in God that David looks for refuge and safety. It is in God that David trusts. Now the rest of the psalm goes on to show us what trusting in God looks like. To trust in God, according to David, looks like knowing that in God you have enough. It's to be happy and celebrate God's people with him. And it's to not do this with his rivals. And ultimately, as David shows us, we show that we can trust God by trusting him with the future, both here on earth and then what happens when we die. Because David finishes the psalm by looking forwards. When you read it, you'll notice it's written in the future tense. David is trusting in God, knowing that he will live up to expectations of keeping him safe from death. But how can we know this will happen? How can we know that God will not abandon us, as David writes? Well, what we do is we can see what God has done with Jesus. God didn't abandon Jesus. God made sure that Jesus is resting safe and secure. God placed Jesus at his right hand. You see, for David, he wrote looking forwards. But with Jesus, we can look back and see exactly what God has done for him. And because we are in Jesus, the same will happen for us. Now ultimately, this is eternal safety and refuge offered to us by Christ Jesus. And knowing that because God didn't let Jesus see decay, as the psalm says, and raised him from death, we too can rest assured, knowing that we too will be raised to life through Jesus. Because we can often put our trust in the wrong things. Things can let us down. Things cannot live up to expectation, but we can never be wrong to put our trust in God. David does, and so should we. What do we look for safety? Well, like David, we should look to God.